Compression. The first goal, to make so that it was loud enough without maximizer on the master bus. It is called peaks fight. To fight with peaks it is possible at the beginning of mix, even before instruments arrangement in a room. At first, I decide how I can arrange instruments in space. Then I cut all superfluous proceeding from quality of sound coloration. Maximum quantity of peaks in the mix consists of sounds with big content of high frequency. Therefore, instruments of background, everything that over 16-18 kHz you can cut off safely. It is possible not to cut it if an artistic plain idea of track is obligated to leave high frequencies. So, high frequency peaks on vocal and acoustic guitars. Listen attentive and cut. The main thing not to bring especially hard distortions. For fight against peaks you can use different limiters and maximizers. What kind of? It is your choice. It is to each taste and repeated experiments. I think that more musically of all with peaks consults UAD1 LA2A. I use it on vocal, acoustic guitars and synthesizers subgroups. Some producers prefer to cut peaks with waves L2. Let's pay attention that low frequencies make bigger part energy of the mix, but not with such huge quantity of peaks as high frequencies. So we don't touch peaks on low frequencies. Important to cut carefully everything below 20-30 Hz. Try to share instruments on subgroups, on frequency attribute and cut peak of a long shoot. I am sure that it will sound more musical than multiband compressor. Our goal, loud and precise mix without any processing on master bus and no limiters at all. RMS of mix have to be anywhere from -10 dB and peaks not loud less than -3 dB. It means that a lot of mastering hardware, better of all, should process this range. By the way, by mixing with master fader on 0, it is like this. There is an option concerning handles of the mixing console. Producers of consoles not on purpose mark position 0 at faders of channels, because just this position provides the best parity as signal noise. We draw a conclusion that if you have possibility to operate the volume of instruments on itself instruments, that better to do it. Ear can't catch a distortion presence of peak in size of 44 samples. It's 1 millisecond of sounding at audio CD standard. First of all, sound sources. If a timbre dim in incorrectly recorded, then compression can't help you. It is necessary to write down or reconsider a lot of sounds and to pick up the necessary one. Sometimes the variant turns out totally unexpected. As a rule, samples and timbres sound absolutely different in the mix and in itself. So, I notice once again, you should listen to the whole mix for choose the sound. Very important is duration of kick, combination with line of bass and so on, but it's a question of an arrangement, not of a mixing. It is written a lot about the theory of compression and everything to know about that. It's a principle of work, what varies at a change difference parameters, time of attack, degree of ratio and duration of release. All attributes and effects become visible at the first experiment. Very interesting are other sorts of compression: multiband compression, frequency selective compression and expansion. Remember, good quality of compressor works imperceptible, of course if you use it correctly. If you have to get sound effect, maybe you should use other processing, for example envelope shaper. Usually maximizers are peak limiters without normalize. It suits to final mastering.